Hey everyone, guess who's back? It's Kamish back here with another draft preview after an extended absence. Just a busy guy. I'm obviously going to try to get as many done here as possible in the next, obviously before the end of the month, anyway, before the draft. So, anyways, today we're going to feature second-year owner Finn and Trustin Fields. He's not a second-year owner in the format, but he's going to be a second-year owner here in Tier One and a guy that had a heck of a start to his career here in Tier One. So let's just get into it with him. So your current keepers right now, Finn, are well, you're going quad running back. So you're gonna go Isaiah Pacheco, Chiefs. I mean, Super Bowl champion. You got to think that potentially he's still going to put up big numbers. I know they haven't really done much to address the running back position there. It's basically just Clyde Edwards-Helaire and another rookie, I believe. So there's really not much going on there for the Kansas City running back attack for you to think Pacheco's going to lose much points. Your next pick's Devin Achane. This guy did get hurt last year, but I've been reading off-season reports that they're going to try to find a way to get this guy a little bit more involved. So we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. Detroit, you got David Montgomery, who, let's face it, early on in the year was definitely getting the bulk of the carries and was proving himself. But it's going to be hard to keep Jahmyr Gibbs off the field. This guy looks electric. He's only going to be entering year two on an ascending team. So, there's definitely a possibility there where David Montgomery could maybe lose some snaps, but he's definitely still going to be involved. And then Tyjae Spears is another interesting one because King Henry is no longer a Tennessee Titan. Hard to see him not running for Tennessee now. But now you have Spears, but they also brought in Tony Pollard, who obviously is going to want to compete and has a little bit more experience than Spears in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out as the so-called lead back there and what shapes up to be a timeshare. And then Puka Nakua is your wide receiver entering year two. I think Cooper Cup's getting near the end, so Nakua is going to be a new star in the making in LA. I think he's the right guy to be a star in LA and the right guy PR wise for the NFL to promote to be the guy in LA. So I think you'll see Puka Nakua actually somewhat maybe avoid the sophomore slump, but remains to be seen. And then at IDP, you have a linebacker that should put up a lot of volume in Caden Ellis for the Atlanta Falcons, especially since, let's face it, Kirk Cousins likely won't be ready early on. And even if he is, got to wonder how good he'll be. And I think Atlanta's still in another year of transition until they actually start maybe contending again. Your picks, well, you didn't make much moves last year, but you did make some. You're picking 18th. Why? Because you had such a great first year. You finished third place. Not too many first year owners finished third. There's been a few, but to finish top three in your first year is very impressive. You will pick 18th and you pick 23rd. So the way I look at it, you should get at least two decent players there with the 18th and the 23rd. Pretty much have all your original picks in the first 10 rounds with 10 and 10. So you do have a chance here with a full draft. Where it changes a bit is rounds 11 to 20, you have 10 picks as well, except you have no 17 and you also have no 13, which could create problems for you in terms of picking IDPs are usually around that time or even more flex depth. You can see you made obviously a couple of trades to pick up a couple of round 20s. And then you are picking third to last in round 28, or sorry, round 29 to end the draft. So you'll be here for the long haul when draft day comes. But I definitely feel on the 18th pick, you should be okay. And it's a pretty decent draft pick scenario, let's face it, for you to contend again. Likely first pick, Sean's got Jaden Daniels. I'm not too sure about that one, although the off-season reports for Jaden Daniels he sounds electric for Washington so far. I mean, it's all hype, and then what you find out is the hype was pure BS sometimes. So It's hard to say at this point. It is all just hearsay at this point, but Jane Daniels could be the guy for you. I personally think you're going to go either rookie receiver or veteran wide receiver that's going to produce. And at that pick, maybe Brian Thomas might be around, maybe not. Obviously, if people start focusing on rookies to start, he won't be. But if Brian Thomas isn't around, then I see you picking up a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. So we talked a bit about that Tennessee offense already with Ty J. Spears. D Hop was on my team last year, I believe, and he did pretty good. So, I know he's getting old, but he is a guy that could help you win leagues too. And at pick 18, it might be somebody you might want to consider, even though I know you do focus on rookies first. So it'll be interesting to see if those two guys are still there. I think you would probably go Brian Thomas. Potential storylines. Well, so Sean has this is his commentary for your team. He says Trustin Fields is interesting. He's going to go with a favorite strategy of his for running backs. The issue is three could be in a timeshare to start the season. The draft picks are typically, he only has two extra in the 20th. If his running backs can break out of the timeshare or at least dominate them, then he has a shot. He says worst case scenario would be 12th and best case making the playoffs. I think your best case is making the playoffs as well. I don't see you as a championship team yet, but if all those running backs hit, maybe you will be a championship team. Again, I can't predict the future. But I do think you could be a playoff team if things go well. I think if things go bad, you could end up 14th or 15th, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe some of those running backs aren't even have a role, right? Maybe Spears isn't the guy, right? Maybe Pacheco gets increased competition in Kansas City, right? So you don't know. But Sean has you going 12th. I would say clearly you're still going to survive. You're not a team that's bad enough to drop, I feel. And the simple fact that you finished third in your first year is pretty tremendous. I think it's awesome having you in the league, Finn. You've been a great addition. I would love to see more international teams, to be honest, in the format. But hopefully we'll see that come to fruition, later on down the road. If you have friends or family I would like to join tier 3 and get started, please let me know. But Finn, you're a great owner. Great to have you. And sorry for the delay in your preview here. But hopefully you see the blueprint for your season and the upcoming draft.